To help us understand how rhythms are structured and should sound, we want to learn how to count rhythms out loud as we play or clap them. There are many ways to count rhythms. In this video, we will look at a few of the common ones and show how they can be applied to some basic rhythms. When in 4/4 time, we start by counting 1, 2, 3, 4. One number for each quarter note beat. For a rest, we count the number but don't play. 1, 2, 3, 4. For half or whole notes, we keep counting, but we hold each note for however many beats we need. Since a half note gets 2 beats, we would hold the third note in this example for beats 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is an example with 3 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we have a different number of beats in a time signature, we just use that number of beats for our cycle. For example, in 2/4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In 5/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting eighth notes. When we have note values smaller than a quarter note, we use other words and syllables to help us count. For the eighth notes, we use "and" for the eighth notes that don't fall on the beat. We use a plus sign as a shorthand for the word "and." For example, a bar of eighth notes in 4/4 would be counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Sometimes people like to count all of the eighth notes in a bar, even if they don't use all of them. This can help keep the eighth note matrix steady and your beat more even. An example in 3/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Another approach is to count all of the beat numbers, but only "and" for the eighth notes that we need. This is the same rhythm from the previous example, but this time we don't count all of the "ands." 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3 and. Sometimes we will have syncopated rhythms that don't have a note on the beat. Counting out loud can be very useful in these situations to help us keep the beat steady. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Notice that I am not counting the "ands" for the first 2 beats of each bar. Instead, I only use "ands" for the beats that have eighth notes. If we wish to count rhythms using 16th notes, we need to add 2 more syllables, "e" and "a." When a beat is divided into 4 16th notes, we use a number for the 16th note that falls on the beat. We use "e" for the second 16th note. "And" is used for the third 16th note. Notice this is the halfway point of the beat and is the same place the and used for an eighth note falls. Is used for the fourth 16th note. So we count 1 E and Since an eighth note is equal in length to two 16th notes, we would count the first two 16th notes 1 and E for the eighth note. Then and for the middle note and for the last 16th. Example 2 has a 16th note where we count 1, an eighth note where we count E and, because that is worth two 16th notes, and a 16th note that we count Example 1, 1 E and Example 2, 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and Next, we will play the same rhythm from the previous example, but this time we only use the beat syllables we need. 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 E. Meters that use beat values other than quarter notes. The same principles can be used for time signatures that don't use the quarter note for the beat. For example, in 2/2 time, the half note gets the beat, the quarter note is the division, the eighth note is the subdivision. So we would count numbers for half note beats and for quarter note divisions, and we would count 1 E and for the eighth note subdivisions, since there are 4 eighth notes per half note beat. In 3/2 time, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and Now we will count the same rhythm, but using only the beats that we need. 1, 2, and 3, 1 and 2, 3 E, There are many ways to count triplets. There's not necessarily one correct way. Try each of the following and see what gives you the best results. Some people just use the 3 syllables tre, pa, let for the 3 notes of the triplet. Don't let the phonetic spelling throw you off. 1, 2, triplet 4. Notice that we don't actually count the number 3 on beat 3. At this point, that shouldn't be a problem. However, if it bothers you, we have other options. Some people like to use 1 and 2 and for triplets. A potential issue here is that the and the fall in different places than they do for 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Another option is to count 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4.